Well, let's get on to a slightly better story and a bit of good news for once, the Telegraph, and some common sense on the issue of trans children for once, Scott.
Most children who think they're transgender are just going through a phase, says the NHS. Doctors are told to encourage young people to change their names and pronouns. Most children who believe that they're transgender are just going through a phase. Apparently, you know, we all have heard on this network about Tavistock, the gender-altering clinic that has been shut because of their misbehavior, because a lot of the advice was being offered by gender specialists, hormone doctors and therapists instead of what they should have been using, which is pediatric doctors and people who specialize in autism and mental health, so that young people were being encouraged to make changes in their lives that were unchangeable once they change their minds back again, because kids fall in love with their stuffed animal, they fall in love with their neighbor, they fall in love with the dog, they fall in love with the tree. And so that's what the NHS is saying, is you can't encourage kids to kind of lock in on a decision when they're that young.
Yeah.
So Tavistock is now closed. They're now, the proposal is now to put the service that they offer for gender dysphoria into the hands of different clinics throughout Britain, and to be supervised by, like I said, pediatric medicine physicians and those who specialize in, like I said, in autism and mental health. Apparently, the numbers had gotten too high. The NHS was shocked by the fact that 8.7 per 100,000 people per year in 2021 and 22 had come with referrals to Tavistock, compared with about, half that 2 years before.
Yeah,
so
because it's being encouraged, as they say, even using pronouns and can have a significant effect. And this all comes, this is in relation to the review from Dr. Hilary Cass. And it seems to me it's just a bit of common sense. And the only thing I don't understand is why it's taken so long to get here.
Yeah, and these plans are still going through a consulting phase, and the consultation ends in December. It notes that they want to strongly discourage children from buying hormones from private clinicians. I think please just pause for a minute, because I went through phases when I was a child. I was a tomboy, so I worry that, when I see girls dressing like I dressed when I was younger, sort of running around with black t-shirt on, ponytail, no makeup, climbing trees and the rest of it, that suddenly somebody would go, oh right, well we need to change your gender, and it's like, no, just chill out, grow up. And I like the fact that they're taking a more holistic approach.
The thing is, can I just mention, when you're an LGBT kid, you feel like no one in the world understands you, and you feel like you have to hide away. So when you find a clinic or a doctor, or these people were, like I said, therapists and hormone specialists, who turn to you and say, in what seems to be a completely traditional physical guise in the clinic that the NHS runs, they turn to you and say, I understand, I get it, and we can help you. That's such a relief, especially when your parents don't seem to even understand what you're going through. So I can understand why these kids would get lost in the system. I can see why it would appeal to them, obviously, And it seems even more circumspect if you think of that, how vulnerable children are, how much they're looking for some sort of support or normalization,